Hello everyone. It's a great to see all of you at the Tsinghua Maker Day. And thank you for having me. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to join you and have this opportunity to share with you some of my ideas about design innovation towards the future. I was actually trained as a very traditional mechanical engineer at Tsinghua University in the late 90s. At the time, I studied engines, combustors, heat exchangers, and such artifacts were actually invented in the first industrial revolution more than 200 years ago. And people like us would be the drivers and leaders of innovation at the time. We were followed by electrical engineers who led innovation in the second industrial revolution, and they were followed by semiconductor engineers, computer scientists, um, driving digitalization in the third industrial revolution. But today, we are entering the fourth industrial revolution, which is characterized by intelligentization across many sectors, dimensions of our work and life. And the innovation today is actually driven and led by the artificial intelligence scientists, researchers, and engineers at OpenAI, DeepMind, and other leading companies. So the question for us, the makers or mechanical engineers, electrical, electronics engineers, is that how we stay relevant for innovation in the fourth industrial revolution today. 4IR actually has many definitions, and I like this one from Professor Klaus Schwab, the CEO and the chairman, founder of World Economic Forum, and he defined 4IR as a technological revolution that blurs the lines between cyber-physical and biological spheres. And to me, and designers, makers today in 4IR, our job is to design cyber-physical and human integrative systems. And as we design new technologies in 4IR, we look for new benefits to humanity, but at the same time, and those emerging technologies might also introduce new challenges and risks to humanity. For example, as we design gene editing technologies or implant chipsets into human brains, and we're potentially introducing new risks to human being. As we design an autonomous vehicles that can kill people on the streets, and also um, generative AI that can generate fake news and wrong information, um, and also use algorithms to manipulate emotions on social media platforms, and algorithms and AI to control food delivery men and Uber drivers in terms of what they should do, how they get compensated. There are fundamental issues involved with equality, privacy, and ethics, and we're not ready to control those risks as we design those emerging technologies. And also, new technologies are largely privately designed and developed by leading technology companies like Google, OpenAI in Silicon Valley, and some of them are in China and other developed countries. And the development and the implementation of those 4IR technology potentially strengthens the monopoly of leading technology companies, and also enlarge the gap between developing and developed economies, and also potentially cause geopolitics global over the global value chain. So the new emerging technologies in the fourth industrial revolution might also introduce some fundamental challenges to human values, such as equality, justice, and privacy, security, ethics, and many other far-reaching economic, societal, political, and moral consequences. And those issues are highly intertwined, and they also involve many heterogeneous stakeholders, um, and with very different interests and incentives. Um, that's challenging. And to me, the biggest challenge is that actually the innovation today outpaces the governance and reflection on potential issues. Innovation happens faster than the design of governance and the models to control the potential risks. That's very dangerous. So I hope that the design innovators in the future can be more responsible to design solutions and to those emergent 4IR challenges to humanity. And the potential solutions are most likely to be social, technical, and highly systematic. They need to incorporate many latent human values such as equality, justice, and security, privacy, ethics, and in the initial design requirements, in addition to the explicit functionalities and the cost considerations. So the traditional design models and methods might become inadequate for this purpose, and design in the future would require high order, high dimensional empathy. But empathy is great to have, it's difficult to have, it's intuitive and often an artistical skill. And empathy in the future would be in high dimension and high orders to address many emergent fundamental human value and needs um, of the humanity as a whole, not just for a single group of users. Let's take a step back to think about the fundamental meaning of design before we propose solutions. To me, design is a human activity that applies knowledge to create novel and useful artifacts, making our life better on the planet. It is actually one of the most profound human intellectual activities. It is what we intentionally do to change the world around us and make it better for us to live. But today, as we continue design, we inhibit in a world that's increasingly artificial, and, and, and the natural component of our world has been decreasing continually. And as we continue to design, and we also grow the complexity in the product, services, and systems that we design, so the traditional system design approaches based upon decomposition and optimization of subsystems, components, and their interrelationships within existing system boundaries might increase the coupling complexity of them and exhaust the potential of further modular and architectural innovation. Um, as a result, we see growing innovation about the synthesis of previously unrelated systems and creating new functionalities which individual systems would not be able to achieve. And for example, if you look at the innovation in the car industry, they're mostly related to connecting cars to a greater energy environment and information and communication systems. And as a result, we see the emergence of a system of systems as previously unrelated systems are now connected and interacting to create new values with new emerging challenges that needs to be suppressed. So moving forward, design innovation needs to incorporate the emergence and complexity of a system of systems, and it means we need to design architectures and interfaces, protocols, and standards for those systems to interact in a value-creating way together with the design of individual technologies. And design innovation in the future needs to incorporate entities such as sustainability, reliability, and among other life cycle properties in the initial design requirements, in addition to functionalities and the cost. So design of complex systems naturally would require high order, high dimensional creativity. Even for basic creativity, it's very hard to learn, acquire, and develop. It's intuitive and it's serendipitous. And if we want to design a system of systems in the future, we have to acknowledge that they are only partially designed by many semi-independent, autonomous design agents, and system of systems also partially evolve. And design work moving forward is increasingly carried out in ecosystems of many interconnected autonomous design agents. Those design agents complement each other, they're interdependent, and sometimes they also compete with each other. So coordination is required for value co-creation. But it's challenging because those design agents might have different incentives, and sometimes they are spread out in different political regimes, making coordination fundamentally difficult. So it requires the ecosystem thinking of a future design innovators, which means we have to understand that the technologies we design today and in the future are parts of a system of systems, and we're designing them together with many other stakeholders in ecosystems. Sometimes we cooperate, sometimes we compete, and we innovate together through symbiosis in the ecosystem. And evolutionary thinking becomes important because innovation can take place anywhere in or outside your ecosystems. We have to acknowledge uncertainty beyond the management, control, and the optimization of any individual agents. It requires design thinking, and including empathy towards more heterogeneous stakeholders and fundamental human values, and also creativity under extreme uncertainty in the future. And taken together, I'm calling for evolutionary ecosystem design thinking as a new paradigm, as fundamental skill and capability that design innovators in the future should develop. But that's wishful thinking. Even for basic empathy and creativity, and we don't have, and basic design thinking we don't have. And the core components of evolutionary ecosystem design thinking are actually high order, high dimensional empathy and creativity. We need them more and more throughout the future, but it's very difficult to have them, even for basic empathy and creativity. And for most of us, it's very difficult to acquire and develop. But moving forward, there might be an X factor that can potentially augment human designers' creativity, empathy for better design, and that is artificial intelligence. AI is not a new concept or new technology. It has been there, been developed over the past 7 decades at least. But only over the past decade, AI has become effective with the progresses and innovation in deep learning neural network, not just because of those new network architectures, but also growing computing power and also combination of data in the digitalization area allow those very deep and wide neural networks can be trained and used effectively. And in the past 5 years, we also see the growth of large language models and foundational models trained on large data sets and using expensive computing resources. And those foundational models can be potentially useful. And they have been very useful for a wide variety of downstream and tasks across different industries and sectors. And as we increase the model size and the size of those foundational models, and we not only improve the performances across existing tasks, but also unlock many new capabilities. Artificial intelligence today has already defeated the smartest Go players on the planet, and being able to solve protein structures and math puzzles much better, faster than the smartest scientists on the planet. They're also able to um, program computer codes much better and faster than computer scientists, many of them. And artificial intelligence, especially the multimodal large language models, foundational models exhibiting AGI, might potentially provide high order, high dimensional artificial empathy through deep learning and artificial creativity through deep generation, theoretically speaking, without explicit parametric models. When it comes to creativity and creative design, empathy, we actually don't have a very good theory-based model with a clearly defined parameters to automate. This is the context where AGI or large language models can play a disruptive role for us to achieve artificial empathy and artificial creativity in high dimensional and high order space. If we're successful developing artificial empathy and creativity, and we might also endanger our role, the human designer's role, as designers of the planet, of the world we live in. Um, and as I mentioned earlier, designing is one of the most profound human intellectual activities. If AI can do a better job, replace our role as designers of our world, and that's a fundamental puzzle for meaning of life, for the meaning of humanity on the planet. So I do hope that human designers in the future can be the developer and users of a safe AI tools that can be used to augment our design empathy and design um, creativity, and to be able to see more and better design opportunities and generate more and better designs for more and better innovation. But the danger is that if AI can do a better job in the design process, we might be sidelined. We might be kicked out of the design process and losing the control of the design of the future of us. That's dangerous. So I hope the human designers in the future can take stronger initiatives when it comes to initiating design process and also execute stronger leadership in the design process, and making sure that we use AI as a safe and useful tool to augment our creativity instead of kicking us out of the design process. That will require the designers and innovators of the future to um, be able to take stronger initiatives for designing what we want instead of what the AI wants, and also controlling and leading the design process to be safe and to be human-led. So that requires the fundamental transformation of design and engineering education. And I believe that the design and maker education can play a very important and fundamental role in melting the traditional STEM curriculum with entrepreneurship and leadership learning to nurture and technically grounded designers and makers who are also entrepreneurial leaders who know what humanity wants, who can also lead the process to design a world that is better with our strong empathy, creativity, entrepreneurship, and leadership with the support, with the aid of artificial intelligence. And thank you. I hope this sharing is inspiring for you.